Hey everyone, Shabim here and welcome back to another video showcasing another potential manager of Manchester United. Now this episode is all about Diego Simeone. Now I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to try and make the video a bit more quick and concise by going through the whole scenario in one go. So first of all, let's head over to Manchester United. Let's have a look at Diego Simeone. Right, stat-wise, I think he might be one of the best managers we have looked at. Fantastic mental attributes. His knowledge is quite high, not amazing. Still only 13 judging player potential, but still pretty good. And his coaching ability is very, very good as well. I think this could possibly be one of the better Man United managers we're going to look at. That adaptability of 20 is going to be fantastic as well. Right, so let's go to the date when Diego Simeone has been sacked and see how his career went. And here we go. So he lasted 5 years before being sacked in 2023. Not quite sure why, because it looks like he did incredibly well. Let's have a look at his landmarks. So he actually... How did he get sacked in 2023? Explain to me. So in 2020, he won the Premiership and the FA Cup. 2021, he won the Premiership and the Community Shield. 2022, he won the Premiership and the Community Shield. And 2023, he won the Premiership and the FA Cup. What? So he won the Premiership 4 years in a row. And he got sacked as Man United manager. How on earth does that happen? The 20th... Oh, that is craziness. Absolutely craziness. He got the Atletico Madrid job back straight away, though, as he would do. That's just crazy to sack him. If we look at the Premiership, then he's the current Championship holder at 4 years on the trot. They won it. The only season they didn't win it is the original season. How on earth did he get sacked? Come on, Woodward. Let me know why that's happened. Of course, it looks like no Champions League wins, then no Europa League wins. It was all domestic. That might be the reason why. But still, 4 Premierships in a row. I would have kept that guy. I think everyone would have kept that guy. Let's have a look and see what he did transfer-wise then in the 5 years he was in charge. So season number 1, he brought in Kieran Tierney for £48 million. Wow. Ruben Diaz. Oh, let's have a look at Tierney, actually. There we go. Decent started player. Of course, we're in the future now, so we can see the decent stats. Ruben Diaz, he was brought in as well. He's got decent stats. He cost 54 million. Andrea Conti, good right back. Played 1 game for Man United. That was it in his entire career before getting sold. And Kenny Tete played 42 games for Man United, now over at Inter Milan. Looks decent. Players out were Fred on loan, McTominay on loan, Pereira on loan as well. Marcus Rojo went out on loan. Darmian went out for 4 million. Young for 1.7. Dallo on loan. And Lindelof went out to Leipzig for 23 million. Not entirely sure I agree with that. He's at Inter Milan now. Bit of a shame. I would like to keep him, to be honest. Into season number 2, and as a lot of the Man United managers do, he purchased Milinkovic-Savic for 75 million. That's not bad. Eden Hazard for 76 million as well. Wow. That was a deal. That was Timo Werner for 35.5 million. For Schalke. And George, that was a hell of a year, that was. 243 million, but that was a hell of a transfer year. That was huge. Savic, Hazard, Werner, and Vršalko. Wow. They sold Valencia for 10.75. And they sold Fellaini for 11. Rojo for 8. Conti for 16 after being 1 season. Fred to Porto for 17. And Smalling to Wolves. That was a hell of a year, that was. This is the year that won in their first league, wasn't it? And you can tell those transfers exactly why. I'll go into next season. Blaise Matuidi came in from Juventus. Solid defensive midfielder. Everton, Ribeiro, I think it is. Came in as well. He's still at Man United as well. 71 million is worth now. Jonathan Tah from Leverkusen came in as well. And finally, Carlo Letica. Don't know much about this guy, but he left the club, went to Leicester, now just moved to West Brom. On the sales list, Phil Jones to West Ham was about it, really, and a couple of youngsters. Well, Sergio Romero went out. Again, another big transfer spend, and it seemed to do him pretty well. Into the next year then, again, massive year. Lautaro Martinez came in, one of the best strikers on the game, I believe. Seems to be anyway. worth 82 million now. They brought him for 95. He scored 41 goals in 68 games for the club. Axel Witsel came in as well. Decent CDM, played 57 games for the club. Oh, this is that Houssem Ouar that everyone's trying to buy at the moment, isn't he? He looks pretty good. Frenchman, centre mid. Leon Bailey for 85 million as well. Eder Garcia, who's a fake player, but he looks pretty decent actually. Played 21 games for the club now. And finally, someone called Tom Hadler. Okay. Obviously just a backup goalkeeper, I'm assuming. A real backup goalkeeper. Sales, they've sold Tete to Inter. They sold Savic after 1 season. They made a profit on him, but still, after 1 season. Must be 2 seasons, actually, yeah. 70 appearances, yeah. Ander Herrera to Bilbao. Fosu Mensah went out. Matic went out. And Miel went out. So it's and Matuidi went out as well, didn't he? Martial went out on loan. Wow. Martial went out on loan. Matuidi went out on loan. Some weird outs, I must admit, but the ins are very, very good. Another season on. £105 million was spent on Emmanuel Acosta, who is another fake Mexican player. Played 11 games. Bentaleb. Wow, he's played for Spurs, didn't he? Yeah. Interesting signing. 28 games in, that's not too bad. Ibrahim Ahin from Fulham. He's pretty good. Is he on loan or is he being transferred away? Yeah, loan from Wolves, that's not bad. Christian Walton. Another weird English goalkeeper for him to sign. And Dennis Zakaria. Okay, this wasn't as good of a transfer season. Still pretty solid though. I think they've definitely built up the base of what they needed. Rashford went to Napoli for 24.5 million. Not really done as well this time as he did previous games, has he really? 48 goals and 176 appearances was his career for Man United. It's not bad. And they sold Lekita, who they brought the season before. Anyone else big went out on... no, nothing really. Mason Greenwood, how's he getting on now? He is not really progressing that quickly, is he? But he did well last season. 13 goals and 38 games for Sheffield Wednesday. And this is the season we're about to go into, isn't it? Okay, we don't need to look at that. Then who is the manager now then? Who was given the job? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was given the job. Okay, that's interesting, that is. Richard Allardyce Ferguson. That's a weird hybrid person, isn't it? So yeah, it was an interesting little run there for Simeone. Have a quick look at the schedule, see if anything jumps out of us. Let's have a look down here, see if there were runners up in anything. So Champions League final, they lost to Spurs in the first season. Gutted. Second season, FA Cup final against Arsenal. Champions League quarter-finals against Real Madrid, they got knocked out. 2021, Champions League semi-finals against Manchester City. 2022, first knockout stage to Juventus. And 2023, quarter-finals against PSG, lost 6-1 on aggregate in that one. That's pretty poor. I just still can't understand why he was sacked, to be honest with you. He seemed to have just done so well. I mean, to win the Premiership 4 years in a trot, win the FA Cup 3 or 4 years as well, it just seems, to me, quite unrealistic why he was sacked from his job. And for me, he should have had a much longer run here, because 4 years in a row to win the league is massive. Like, if he had left himself, if he had left and gone to Atletico Madrid to take his job back there, I would have probably accepted it. But the fact that he's, in his own accord, Woodward's own accord, has fired him just seems really, really weird to me. Unless there was some sort of disruption within the camp or an argument between the manager and the owner. It just seems really, really weird why the game would allow on the year before. Because, was it the year before? Yeah, so the year he got sacked, he won the FA Cup and the Premiership the year before he sacked. That's weird. I don't understand why the game sacked him. Either way, Diego Simeone was a very, very, very successful Manchester United manager, and I think that's realistic. I think that Simeone would be a very fantastic Man United manager. The only thing I would be worried about is whether he would be able to pull it off. That's the only thing, because obviously he's only had one club so far, and Atletico Madrid has done a fantastic job over there, really breaking that domination by Real Madrid and Barcelona. But would he be able to do it elsewhere? Certain managers, in my opinion, seems to do better at certain jobs, and is this one just a step too far for Simeone? Would it be too much of a change for him? Would the Premiership sort of work with his style. There's lots of different questions that need to be answered, but the only way to answer them is to give it the opportunity. Anyway then, I shall leave you there for the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit a like and of course subscribe if you want to see some more. We'll be back next time when our next manager is Jardim. I think we've only got one more left after. No, we've got two more. We've got three more managers left after this one to have a look at the moment, unless any more pop up. We've got Jardim, we've got Wenger, and we've got Gary Neville. Unless there's any others you think might be worth a look at, of course, if there is, then do drop them down in the comment section down below, and we'll try them out as well. And hopefully, at least one of these managers will get the job in real life. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.